Silurian Period. Life's first steps on land. Roughly 440 million years ago, Earth was a planet both alien and silent. The land was bare, without trees, grass, or animals. Wind swept across rocky plains, and not a single bird call or insect buzz could be heard. Yet beneath this quiet exterior, a transformation had already begun. This was the Silurian Period, one of Earth's forgotten but vital chapters, when life cautiously began to expand beyond the oceans. At first, the land seemed lifeless. The true center of diversity still lay beneath the waves, where trilobites, corals, brachiopods, armored jawless fish, and giant sea scorpions thrived in warm, shallow seas. The oceans were vibrant, but above the waterline, something remarkable was happening. The earliest plants and fungi were beginning to conquer dry land, slowly, silently, but with world-changing consequences. The first green colonizers. The very first organisms to take hold on land were not animals, but tiny non-vascular plants, mosses, liverworts, and their relatives. They had no true roots, no flowers, and no seeds. Instead, they clung to damp rocks along coastlines, surviving in places where waves and rain provided enough moisture. Though fragile, these pioneering plants were alive, and their presence marked the end of a completely barren Earth. By absorbing sunlight and water, they began releasing oxygen into the atmosphere. The effect was small at first, but it was enough to begin reshaping the chemistry of the air. As they died, their remains formed thin layers of organic matter, the planet's first primitive soils. These humble mats of moss were the foundation of everything that would come later. But mosses were not alone. Towering above them were strange organisms unlike anything alive today. Prototaxites, the age of giant fungi. For millions of years, the largest living thing on land was not a tree, but a fungus. Prototaxites grew up to 8 meters tall, rising from the rocky ground like enormous tapering poles. They had no leaves or branches, only a smooth trunk made of tightly packed filaments. To the early world, they were alien towers dominating the landscape. For decades, scientists debated their identity. Were they lichens, primitive plants? Eventually, chemical evidence confirmed their fungal nature. They fed by breaking down decaying matter, recycling nutrients, and shaping the first terrestrial ecosystems. Imagine walking through that world. No animals on land, no insect wings humming in the air, only low mats of moss covering wet stones, interrupted by colossal fungal spires stretching into the sky. It was a silent forest of mushrooms, the first vertical structures ever to cast shadows on land. Vascular plants, a new innovation. Alongside mosses and fungi, another evolutionary leap was taking place: the rise of vascular plants. Unlike mosses, vascular plants had internal plumbing, xylem and phloem tubes that carried water and nutrients through their bodies. This allowed them to grow taller, survive farther from shorelines, and expand into new environments. One of the earliest known vascular plants was Cooksonia. It stood only a few centimeters tall, with simple branching stems but no leaves. Yet its internal structure gave it strength and adaptability. Cooksonia and its relatives spread across riverbanks and floodplains, releasing spores into the air and stabilizing the soil around them. Soon, other primitive vascular plants appeared: Baragwanathia, Zosterophyllum, and Xylophyton. They resembled green pipes, splitting into forks with tiny spore capsules on their tips. Though simple in form, they laid the groundwork for forests and eventually the vast diversity of plant life we see today. At the heart of this revolution was a partnership. Fungi and plants formed symbiotic alliances underground, exchanging nutrients and sugars. This collaboration allowed plants to grow stronger, while fungi expanded their networks through the soil. Nearly all modern plants still depend on this ancient bond, a relationship first forged in the Silurian world. Life beneath the waves. While land was beginning its transformation, the oceans were still the main stage of evolution. During the Silurian, Earth's climate stabilized after a major ice age. Glaciers melted, sea levels rose, and shallow tropical seas spread across the continents. These waters provided perfect habitats for marine life to flourish once again. Trilobites, survivors of previous extinctions, crawled along the seafloor. Brachiopods anchored themselves to rocks, filtering food from the currents. Corals, both solitary and colonial, began to build the first reef systems in Earth's history. These coral reefs created new habitats, supporting sponges, mollusks, and countless other marine creatures. Marine ecosystems became increasingly complex. Predators evolved sharper senses and faster bodies, while prey developed shells, spines, and new defense strategies. Evolution was an arms race.